Hello, everyone, and welcome to Transform Your Business Thursday. Happy New Year. Happy 2020 to everybody out there. This is so exciting. Starting off the new year, just motivated and feeling good. So I want to welcome you on the live. If you're here, say hi to me. Happy New Year. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. Today we're talking about what direction do you want to go into for 2020? Hi, Michelle. Happy New Year. I'm so glad you're on. So direction. A lot of people are talking about the goals that they have. What are their intentions? What is your word for 2020? I'm hearing all these different things, and I like to play along with this stuff. Do you have a word for 2020? My word, I've decided, is alignment. That's all I want. I want alignment for 2020. Hi, Kelly. So happy to see you. Happy New Year, everybody. So do you have a word for 2020? Do you have a goal for 2020, an intention? Let's not get caught up on semantics, because I'm hearing all these different things. Like, should we talk about goals? Should we not? The short answer to this question that I'm wondering about this morning is focus on whatever feels good to you. Focus on whatever gets you lit up, whatever gets your energy going, your juices flowing. That's what you need to focus on. And that might be goals, it might be intentions, but we want to have some kind of a direction to go in, right? We constantly want to be growing and expanding, right? And we always are, and kind of stepping into that next best version of ourselves. So what is it that you want? I've been asking people, what do you want to create for 2020? And I'm hearing very big answers, which is okay. But for me, there's one thing that's wrong with that, where I feel that it kind of almost sets us up not to succeed. I'm hearing people say, oh, my word is healthy. Yes, awesome. Healthy, yes, health, wellness, that is alignment, by the way. So very good. So I'm hearing these big goals, for 2020, I want financial security, or I want stability, or I want to pay off debt. My word is create. Love that. Yes. And again, this all comes back to alignment. When we are in alignment, we are creating, we are clear, we have that sense of direction where we want to go, and that health and that wellness. So when we say things like big things that are a little, far away from where we currently are, like the examples I gave that I'm hearing other people say, like the financial security or this financial stability, that's a big concept to wrap your mind around. And I feel that when something is too big for you to wrap your head around, it just kind of prevents you from getting there, because we go right into that whole, fight, flight, or freeze mode, where we feel like we start to get stuck, or we feel like we don't have that clarity, or we start to, what that looks like is, or sounds like is, I'm confused, I don't know what direction to go in. And it just means that your brain got a little overwhelmed or a little bombarded. So that's why I encourage people to not think of in such big terms of like, this is what I want to create. I want to have financial stability in 2020, or, I want to pay off all my debt. And first of all, I would even remove that word from your vocabulary, because if you just say the word debt and take a second to notice how that feels, heavy, right? I mean, for me anyway, when I say that word, it certainly doesn't feel good, and it's kind of going to shut off your creativity, your ability to even have ideas, and certainly you won't see a clear path coming from that side of the coin, so to speak. So I hear, and I don't know how true this is, but I hear that only 8% of people actually achieve their goals. And I question this, and I want to know why. I don't understand why. I think it's very interesting why it's such a small percentage, but I know that there's a few things that people who do achieve their goals, this small segment of the population, there are a few things that they do that sets them up for success, and that's what I want to talk about today. And if you have any idea, if you know what they are, please feel free to type them in the chat. Let's have a conversation. But I guess before I move on, I should go back and introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nikki Ganjemi, and I help online coaches shift their identity to thriving entrepreneurs so they can make more money and impact doing what they love. And yes, everything I talk about, it's always that inside out approach. We're always changing on the inside first, changing how we think about things, how we see things, and then we can have different experiences in our reality. So what are 3 things that people who are achieving their goals, what are they doing that might be different from other people? One thing is that yes, they are beginning with the end in mind. They can see their end game, right? Now, whatever you have to say that will help you to see that end game, it's going to vary. It's going to depend on you. For the people who are saying, I'll go back to my early example, what I want is financial security. When I say those 2 words, I don't have an image in my mind. It's just words, in other words. Financial security. It doesn't give me a picture in my mind. It doesn't give me a feeling, and if it does for you, great. But that's really all that matters. So we have to know what it is that we want. We begin with the end in mind. What is the big picture, that you want for yourself? And when you close your eyes, can you see it so clearly that you react on a visceral level? It's like when you're watching a movie that you're really into, let's say it's a suspense film and you're on the edge of your seat and, your heart might be pumping a little faster and, you feel it at a visceral level. It's in your body. Even though it's something on TV and consciously you know that it's not real, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So when you see or say what it is that your end in mind is, your big goal, can you feel it? Can you be there right now if you were to close your eyes and see it? And that's one thing that people who have success with achieving their goals, they're able to do. They know what the big picture is, that end in mind is. And then the second thing they do is they get really specific and they chunk it down. This is really huge, and this is where I feel that a lot of people kind of miss this step. And we even see it we could take a simple example. So let's do weight loss, because I know a lot of people, they eat a lot for the holidays, myself included, and it's like, I went back to having my protein shakes this morning instead of like cookies and coffee, which I was doing for the last 2 weeks. But, and people going to the gym and everything. So let's use that as an example. Saying that you want to lose 20 pounds, let's just say, or 10 pounds, that is not specific enough. You want to be even like, what does that even look like? And first of all, when you say something, the first thing you want to do is notice how you feel. Because when you say, I want to lose 20 pounds, is your go-to thought, oh my God, this could take me forever. How am I going to do this? I'm always one to put, weight on or take the weight off and it comes right back on, whatever it is that your go-to thoughts are or your story. But you have to make it so that your brain feels that this is completely doable to do. It's easy peasy. So you want to break it down. You want to chunk it down so that it feels that way. When something is like hard to do, how do you feel, right? You just feel like, ugh, I got to do that, or I'll put it off till later, and that's where we start to procrastinate, But instead, it's like if you chunk something down to say that you want to, and I'm just using this as an example because I think health is an easy thing for everybody to relate to. You want to lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds, that might seem too big. So what does that look like? Maybe breaking it down to 2 pounds a week or 3 pounds a week, whatever it is. And then even that, breaking it down even further. Well, what does that look like? Well, that looks like me, making a protein shake from one of my meals every day, or having a healthy dinner, and then breaking it down even further, So I have to be mindful of what I'm going to buy when I'm at the supermarket, when I'm picking out, the food for the week. It's like getting as chunked down and as specific as you can get. So it's just the next step. Think of it this way. When you're in the car and you turn on your navigation system, if you were to go from your front door of your house, your driveway or, parking lot, whatever, to the place that you're going to go to, your navigation system doesn't say, hop on to Parkway South or get on Interstate 95. You'd be like, okay, well, how do I get there? It's like, drive 600 feet and turn right. It's like, what's the very next step? Not 20 pounds, that's not the next step. Not starting my business, not making 10K per month, that is not the next step, depending on where you are right now. So to set yourself up for success, you want to chunk, you want to have that end in mind, know what it looks like, and more importantly, know how it feels and be able to have that reaction in your body when you close your eyes as if you're watching a movie and you really believe what's going on in front of you. And then number 2 is chunking it down so that you know the very next step and it seems extremely doable. Driving 600 feet and making a right, fine, that's great, I could do that. But if you put me in the car and told me, here you are in New Jersey and you're going to go visit your cousin in Los Angeles, I'd be like, I don't know how to get there. You want to make it as easy and doable as possible. So it's small steps. And the third thing that people do, these 8% of people who achieve their goals, is they have a support system, whether it's an accountability partner, that is in it with them, and checking in with them, or they have a coach or a mentor, but having some kind of a support system so that you're not just doing it on your own. These are, and there are more, but today I wanted to keep it simple for you. Just 3 simple steps, 3 different things that people who achieve their goals, what they're doing. And if you get started with these 3, you're going to be in really great shape. Is this making sense, you guys? Does this sound like it makes sense to you? I think this is a great place to start, is to know what your intention is or your goal. First of all, let's just get over the wording, right? Because I know I don't even use the word goal. I prefer intention. For me, that just feels lighter. It feels easier. What is my intention? And then, like I said, we want to know what that end in mind looks like, but we want to be able to believe it 100% so that when we close our eyes and we think about it, we can feel as if we're already there, that it's a done deal. When it starts to feel that it's so far away, it gets overwhelming. And what do we do when we get overwhelmed? Well, we probably respond in different ways, but at least for myself, I know my brain shuts down. If I have to do something, like, I order something from Amazon and it comes in a box and I've got to open it up and put it together, and I open up those instructions and I'm turning it over until I finally see where's the English and I find the English directions. And there's so many of them, my eyes feel like they just glaze over. And I'm like, it's just too much. It's too much to just think of the 10K month or the 30 pounds or the, getting your business off the ground or quitting your job. These things are too big, and they're all doable and they're all achievable, but we've got to make them feel like they're doable. And that is, like I said, chunking it down. And what is the very first step that I take, where I'm just going 300 feet and I'm turning right? That's where I want to start. And then as you start to have these little wins and these little successes, your energy builds, you start to gain momentum, and you get to ride that wave of energy. Kelly is saying, I will do this except for the third one, and that's why I think I don't do well. I don't hold myself accountable, nor do I have anyone else holding me accountable. Well, try that, right? If that's something that you don't do well, Maybe, and if it's not a mentor or if it's not a coach, I'm big. I have a coach as we speak. I always think it's great I myself, and I know other people too, have made the most progress, have had the most significant gains, have stretched the most when they were working with a coach or they were under somebody's mentorship. But at the very least, having an accountability partner, someone who is going through this with you, who has a similar goal, and also somebody who embodies the qualities that you want. You don't want to pair yourself up with someone who, is a Debbie Downer or complains or you want to hook up with someone who has the same qualities that you either have or aspire to have. That's going to keep you going. Michelle, I'm still struggling with the big picture. So you know what? Then don't go in that direction. Anytime you are feeling any kind of resistance to something, it's your, Abraham Hicks talks about this, it's your internal guidance system saying that you're going in the wrong direction. You're going the wrong way. You're getting too far away from, who you are, the you with the capital Y, right? So if you're struggling with the big picture, it's like you're aware of it at least, right? And you're acknowledging it. And those are the first 2 steps in my system, my 8-step process for transforming your beliefs. So you have the first 2, the awareness and the acknowledgement, but now it's just validating it, Michelle. It's just saying, okay, so I'm struggling with the big picture right now in this moment. And that's okay. It's like giving yourself a little bit of grace. It's okay. Where can I start? What's the very first step? Again, something that's so far away from where we are, it seems overwhelming. Imagine as women, right? Because I'm speaking to women right now in this moment. Men, if you're on later, this is for you too. But imagine when you're a little girl, being told all of these things that are going to happen to you, that you're going to go through all of this education, 13 plus years of education, and then you're going to get a job and you're going to be working 50 plus hours a week, and then you're going to go through all these things that women have to go through, and having babies and getting married, and as a little girl you'd be like horrified, like it's way too much. You're being told too many things at one time. But as you start to experience it, one little thing at a time, one little step leads to one milestone, and you're just in your lane, you're in the step that you're in where you're at, then you don't even notice it sometimes. You don't even feel it. So maybe right now in this moment, the big picture is not where you're at, and that's okay, but forcing yourself and pushing yourself to be able to see it won't help you to see it. And again, I think I said this on the last live that I did, it's trusting that there is clarity, that you do have that clarity. It is there, you just might not see it right now. Just like it's a sunny day today here in New Jersey, but if it were cloudy, the sun is still there. Just because we cannot see the sun, it doesn't mean that it's not there. It is. It's just being hidden from our vantage point by the clouds. And when we don't have clarity and we can't see something, it's just being hidden by those thoughts, those negative thoughts that make us uncomfortable and cause our brain to go into that fight, flight, or freeze mode, and then we can't see anything clearly at all. So taking a step back, taking a breath, just maybe going quiet, closing your eyes, trying to still your mind, and just trusting in your intuition. What is it that I need to hear? And again, it's a small step. It's that very first step. But what you want to get to is a place where you feel good, where you feel comfortable, and then your that amygdala that was going wild in your mind calms down. And when it calms down, that's when the clarity is there, waiting to be revealed. Just like when the clouds part, the sun was always there. So try that, Michelle, and you will be able to see it when you're ready. But it's when, and Abraham Hicks talks about this too, the path of least resistance. If you're having a hard time and you're struggling, you're experiencing resistance. So it's like pivot and go the other way and take a step that's a lot smaller, so that you have a sense of success of some kind, and then you feel good, and then you gain that momentum and you ride that wave. So I'm going to continue talking about intentions, goals, visions, because we are in the month of January and this is a big thing right now for people. So that's what I want to give you for today. That's great advice. I don't get quiet often. Yeah, I love getting quiet. I try to do it a little bit throughout the day, not just one time of day, like not just the morning or just at night. But somebody that I know, she gave the analogy of like coffee dripping from the pot, like that drip, drip, drip. And she's like, drip these moments throughout the day instead of just saying, I'm going to get quiet or meditate or visualize once a day. But yeah, just closing your eyes and just becoming an observer. Notice thoughts coming into your mind and be okay with them. Just I'm thinking, or label it. I'm thinking, planning, worrying, and then just let it just float. Let the thoughts just float away and just come back to your breath. Come back to one word or a mantra, or just your breathing, or tune into a sound. Right now the heat's on, and even though I'm talking to you, now that I'm talking about mindfulness, I hear the hum of the heat, and I could just focus on that. And if I'm focused on that, then I won't have all these the thoughts. So try that, and I will be back again on Monday, and I'm going to continue with this topic. If you have anything in particular you'd like me to address, please put them in the comment section, and I will be sure to address them. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and I wish you all the best in this new year in 2020. Have a fabulous day, and I will talk with you soon. Bye-bye.